The concept of marriage is ancient, way older than most religions. The earliest evidence of formalized marriage goes back to about 4,000 years to Mesopotamia, but it wasn't about soulmates or sacred unions. Marriage was a legal contract designed to control property, inheritance, and reproduction. It wasn't really about I love you. It was more about let's merge bloodlines and lands. We've all seen Games of Thrones, right? Women were property in early societies, especially patriarchal ones like ancient Rome, Greece, and Hebrew culture. Marriage was often a transaction. Women were given away by their fathers. Dowries were paid. The bride became legal property of her husband. Marriage was about legitimizing heirs, keeping wealth within certain families, and solidifying political alliances. Polygamy was common. Monogamy wasn't the original standard. In many ancient cultures, kings and powerful men had multiple wives or concubines. Marriage was about status, power, and fertility, not exclusivity. Even in biblical texts, figures like Solomon had hundreds of wives. Marriage wasn't always a religious thing. In fact, early Christian texts didn't even mention it as a sacrament. It wasn't until around the 12th century that the Catholic Church started to officially recognize marriage as a holy sacrament. By the 16th century, marriage became regulated by the church, often requiring ceremonies and official records. Marriage for love is a recent idea. Before the 18th to the 19th century, love was seen as something separate, even dangerous to bring into marriage. Imagine. But during the Romantic era, love started to be seen as a valid reason to marry. That's when the idea of a soulmate and happily ever after took off, boosted by literature, poetry, and later Hollywood, media, etc. Yeah, so governments also used marriage as a way to control population and morality. They used it to track citizenship and inheritance, regulate sex and reproduction, especially for women. Even today, marriage comes with legal benefits, which shows how it's still a tool of state and institutional control. So, marriage today, is it sacred or social contract? Depending on culture and belief, some people still see marriage as divinely sacred. Others see it as a social tool or even an outdated one. Some people marry for visa reasons, tax breaks, social status, cultural expectations, and yes, sometimes for love. So, yeah, marriage has always been a reflection of the times and the systems we live in. What started as a transaction for power became a sacrament for God and now often functions as a lifestyle choice. But the essence has always been the same. Its structure, which was created to shape society, not just connect souls. So, yeah, marriage wasn't even originally about love.